This ain't nothing. This isn't really.
That challenging.
This isn't that hard, really.
You know how to edit and stuff.
All right, what do you think? Are we recording? Is it? Yeah, I think we're recording here, Charlie.
What about cussing?
Cussing's okay. Hey, so Charlie, thanks for sitting down and chatting with me. I think we're recording. I think we're live. Yes, we are. Charlie Bartlow. I've been talking about this 238 podcast for, more than a year. I actually recorded 3 great interviews with 3 legends: Wes Barnett, Chris Tabor, and Dennis Sneeden.
Boy, you're putting me in a class there.
Yeah.
It's more like the JV team.
But I was intending the 238 podcast to be basically a celebration of St. Joe, and with an emphasis on the South Side. And so anyway, life intervened. I never really published any of these interviews. I think I might. They're great interviews, and I want to. But I guess today I just needed to talk out loud with someone about not much to celebrate right now in St. Joe, which is the school situation with our high schools. I guess maybe some people are happy. Some people are sad and afraid. So first, Charlie, I don't even know how you voted. I just want to have a conversation about kind of where we're at. What are the next steps forward? What concerns? I have some concerns right now. Full disclosure, I voted yes for the new school, presented with the opportunity of, a new Southside High School, or no Southside High School. It was the choice that I wanted to make, but I know a lot of people obviously didn't vote that way. And it doesn't matter if you don't want to share how you voted or not. But I feel like a lot of people are being villainized for voting no. And I'm concerned that the path forward is really a worst case scenario for St. Joe. I wanted the new high school, but if there's not going to be a new high school, there seems to be a massive void if we don't have a high school in the South Side. And my hope is to, I guess, just can we take a deep breath here and make sure that as a community we're ready to move forward with Central and Lafayette as our only 2 high schools. So anyway, I'm talking too much.
No, you're good. I'm just, my thing is what I voted yes. And the main reason I voted yes, because I felt like there's a scare tactic on that after this year or after the next year that the kids from Benton would be closed and they'd be forced into Central High School if it got passed, if it didn't pass. Okay, so that's where I got, because my son is a sophomore right now, and so his senior year he would be uprooted from Benton and have to go to Central, and I was not a fan of that at all.
Yeah.
I have a daughter that's in 8th grade that's going to be going to Benton too. Now, and this don't probably sound good, but she don't play sports, and a main reason for a lot of this is sports. My son plays sports, and that kind of makes the city turn. You know what I mean? It kind of makes the big revenue, and that's what people talk about, around town, and that's what So it was just going to be a big shakeup. Now, yes, we do need 2 schools. Definitely need 2 high schools. We need one in the south end, one in the north end. That's my opinion. I mean, but like you go around, for the last 15 years, I had nephews that played ball at Lafayette. Every time we went out of town, these schools where the facilities, it's not even close. I mean, so it's just it's a problem. It really is. Now. I just don't. You go back to 3 schools, make it 3 even schools, but yeah, we do need upgraded facility. So
what do you think most people? Let's talk about just South Side. Your perspective on why people voted no. It seemed to me that a lot of people voted no because they want to keep the 3 high school system.
They definitely want to keep that in high school. I mean, that's number 1. And then number 2 would be the 3 high school model. Yeah, they definitely. That's what the people that I talked to, that's kind of what the opinions that I got from people.
And so is it like, it seems to me that the communication from the school district is we are definitely moving forward in 1 year's time with closing
Yes.
the Benton High School. Is that, am I right? I
That, that's the word I got from everybody that I talked to was the same that Benton High School's going to close after next year if this don't pass. You know, so where they don't. Here's the thing: they the school district has a problem with marketing. I have no idea about this new school they're going to build. They have no. If they don't push it, they're not selling it. I mean, you don't have no, you're kind of out there and clueless about where it's going to be, what it's about, what they build. Uh, everybody in the city with the address that they should have got so many, information in the mail, social media. I'm not on Facebook. I'm on X, and nothing on X about the school district. About they didn't push this. It's like there's no plan. It's kind of like they just kind of rush and push stuff together and like, get the information out there for the voters. I mean. I said no. I didn't see any drawings on anything. What the idea of their school's going to be.
You think a big part of it was the lack of a known location?
That and what exactly are they building? It's got to have swimming pools. What's it going to consist of? And I heard hearsay, but I never seen anything. I didn't see draw rendition or whatever you want to call it,
Right.
of the school or the facility, the campus. So it's like there's a no communication barrier, between the school district and the people and the citizens, and I just I said, oh yes, we definitely need to upgrade.
Yeah, I mean, we have to build a new high school at some point.
Yes.
I mean, they're all over 100 years old or close to it. It seems like we obviously need to build a new high school. I don't understand the rush to close Benton right now. Leaving Lafayette and Central as the only two high schools that are 3 miles apart, without a South Side high school of any kind is just absurd. I don't know.
Yes,
I honestly don't know the politics of any of this, and who are the decision makers are. But I don't care if you're from the South Side or not. A setup where the only two high schools are in Central Lafayette are absurd.
Yes.
Half the town is, and it's, whether you want to believe this or not, the South Side is a very prideful community,
Yes.
rightfully so.
Yes.
And rightfully so. And people don't want to hear this. Where there's this weird dynamic where the push for a new high school, and we need it. I want a new high school, but the push for all of that is coming from basically the business class folks in St. Joe, okay? The folks that go to Central.
Yes.
I would venture to guess that folks at Benton and Lafayette are probably fine keeping those buildings for another 20, 30 years, and we could build a new one out east for, I don't know, but I don't know who thought it would be a great idea to have Central and Lafayette as the only two high schools. It's not the district has, and listen, I did this for a living, all right, and I probably need to take blame for the shit show that is the school district. But if I never went to go work for the school district, the last 12 years could be rewritten. I'd take blame for all of that. But I don't know who thought that this was a good idea to shut down the South End school. There's the operational savings of going to a two high school model. They're not that much.
Yeah.
And the people are clearly telling the community that they're not crazy about this new plan.
Yeah.
I just don't understand why there's such an urgency to shut it down. With the teachers have been talking about forever classroom sizes.
Yeah.
We've got an opportunity to where we can have really small classroom sizes, and we're going to give that up for almost no cost savings. It makes no sense.
It doesn't. And like structurally and size wise, Benton's bigger than Lafayette and in better shape.
Well, when I was at the school district and they paid all these consultants and all this, and they were saying 12 years ago that Lafayette wasn't in that great a shape and Benton was in much better shape.
Yes.
And if you were going to keep one, it would be Benton. I just don't know why we're closing any of them until we've got a better plan on how we're going to move forward.
Yeah.
I still think that you can convince the South End for a new high school, but there's going to have to be I guess better communication, like you said, and more
Communication.
trust. But right now, if you were to force shut Benton down, you're really gonna take the lifeblood of what's left of the South Side.
And it's going to put a dent in the numbers in town. I guarantee that, because I mean we've already seen it. Look how much Selena's grown. Maybe Buchanan,
Right.
East Buchanan. Ever since you did, that you did the job that you did, great job. Thank you. I think you should get a lot more praise, because you uncovered people stealing from us citizens. I mean, it's kind of the same things going on, nation in our country, and I want to thank you personally for that, because like I said, that put us 30 years behind everybody.
It has put us behind. Like, that's the worst part. Like, I left a really good job to go, and I thought I could have a really good impact, like working in the public sector. And honestly, we're worse off 12 years later than when I went in there, and that is sadly the reality. And I never in a million years would have thought that you could see a two high school model coming for sure. But who thought closing buildings? I'm serious.
It's like Central and Lafayette right here, and you got Benton down here. Why would you keep these two? And it's like I said, another thing was, I remember them saying, I don't know how many years ago it was, that the high schools were not structurally safe for the kids. But then they turn around and they're going to make them into middle schools.
Yeah, the arguments have changed.
They're lying.
Yeah, right.
Don't lie. These people, we're not stupid. Everyone gets information now, because, with social media, people talk to each other quicker. And it's just like, then it's like they kind of try to bully the South End on, if you vote no, if it don't pass, then you guys are done in a year. Like, come on, man. Them are the people you don't want to challenge like that,
Yeah, I mean, I'm no political consultant, but it seems like they, like you said, bullied the South Side.
And I was like, they bullied me because I voted yes. And I didn't want to vote yes, because I didn't know what was going on. But the only thing that I knew, the information I had, was that this doesn't pass, then Benton will close next year, and they'll be shipped to Central, and then half the Central kids will be shipped to Lafayette. And I was like, well, that is just. Obviously you're a much more educated guy than I am, with your college, and I'm just an average Joe in the South End, but yeah, even I could see that, they don't make sense, it just doesn't make sense.
Well, do you think what I hope is, again, they take a pause? I'm afraid that, and I don't blame the South Side on the vote. Like, from what I looked at, the precinct I'm in right here, Ashland Methodist, it barely voted yes for the damn thing.
Yeah.
I don't think the South Side is to blame on this. The voters seem like they didn't want it. I just, again, are we certain we want to close one of these high schools in 1 year's time?
No.
I honestly, I can't imagine anyone that wants to entertain a debate on how that is good. I don't care if you're from the South End or not. Honestly, if we've got the capacity, and maybe we're not as efficient as we should be, but.
Well, I remember back when I was in school, like, we played Liberty North in football when they first, or I'm sorry, Lee Summit North in football when they first started. Their first time in school, and they were, how they did it back then was like I believe it was a sophomore class went as juniors. They didn't have a senior class their first year, and that's how they integrated that. And it's a much smoother transition than just uproot kids, and just, okay, you're going to Central, like. It just, I don't understand it. I don't know. I think we're in lack of leadership. We need somebody to get in here that's with some charisma, that can communicate with the people, and have a plan, and stick to the plan, and and have the right plan. But I just don't think we have the leadership.
Well, I think someone needs to bring the South Side together. A reasonable person that's not just an extreme, extreme personality. But I'm afraid, and excuse my French, but I'm afraid, like, we've kind of fucked around and we're about ready to find out.
I know.
If Benton is really going to get closed, people are acting like it's an absolute certainty. I know there's two types of people probably in this world: people that accept whatever they're told as the truth, and those that know that perhaps the truth is not exactly what it first seems. But I'd still be waiting on face surgery for about another month if I accepted the first two answers from doctors about when I could get in to go see the doctor. Are we really closing Benton High School?
I don't.
And if so, but if that's going to be the case, I just would encourage. Listen, I don't have a stake in this, Charlie. My kids will go to Central most likely, maybe Lafayette, and they weren't. I'm not in Benton's district. I don't plan on sending them there. But the South End needs to come together and figure out what it is they can support.
Yeah, exactly. And like we need a leader down there, and that's why I said I think you're the man for the job. You know,
that's not why I know. I
mean, I know we're not here to, we're just about making you the lead.
No, I don't.
I just know that you've seen it, you've been involved in it, and you've got some common sense. You're almost on the not on the outside looking in, but since you're not in the South End and where your heart's not totally into. Got kids going there. They're not affected by it.
I have the ability to talk about it probably more rationally than most.
Yes.
Even though no one loves Benton more than I do.
Yeah, exactly. Your family's that's a prominent name in the South End. So it's like it just doesn't make sense, man. I don't.
So what do you think the next steps are? Like I need some.
I think we until they got the land and the actual blueprints on this job. That's when you put a date out there for the how this is going to go down with the schools. Where's the dividing line? Where's the, what was it? What Frederick Avenue? Is it Edmond Field? What is it? How are they going to do this? I know it seemed like in the past, instead of just having a straight line district, it's always want to loop this area here with the money here, the nice neighborhood. The carriage oaks and the Greystone, they need to be, it makes more sense for them to go
gerrymandering of the school district.
Yeah, come on, man. I mean, stop. Let's just be even. Let's be fair.
And we need to get rid of the transfer portal, please.
Yeah. Well, that's another story.
Well, it kind of has to be addressed at some point.
Yeah.
Do you think it's a better plan to make the new high school to replace Lafayette and Central? And let Benton remain? Do you think the South End would rather have that?
To be honest with you, I just wish the South End we could just break apart and be South St. Joe. But that's not going to happen. I know it's been talked about before, but that was just kind of
I've had the same thought. It'd be like, have you seen the HBO show Succession?
No, I haven't.
It'd be like that, but it would be secession.
Yeah. Well,
I need candidates for I guess they need a leader of the secede movement.
In town, I mean, we produce what? Olympic athletes, NFL guys, Major League Baseball players. I mean, so we're kind of right down there,
Yeah, maybe we can. Do you think that maybe we can we need a South Side school district?
Yeah. Yep. KC Center did it down there in Kansas City. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know enough about it to be.
No, it's probably enough. I know enough about the world and the legality of all of this. I'm sure there'd be a million lawyer hours trying to make all that happen, and it'd never be a possibility. But maybe it's something that should be explored. I don't know.
If it can, I think we got the people would be all in down there. I really do. But yeah, we can't close Benton High School, man. Come on,
I mean, I'm okay with Benton closing if it's replaced with a Southside High School.
Or the district, right? The high school's in the South End district.
I just want to pause this plan of shutting down and moving to 2 within 1 year's time.
Yeah,
while we come up with a better plan, come back a year from now with an actual plan where we know what's going to be and a little bit more clarity.
There's no way. Okay, so what is Central? I'm not for sure on attendance. I know they're over 1,000.
Central?
I know like Benton Lafayette around, I believe around the 600 mark, maybe around in there. Lafayette is not going to be able to support half of Central High School.
I don't understand why a community would accept that. I mean, it's going to be jam-packed and almost for no reason. I understand it's not efficient as it is right now, but the school district's already said the savings are pretty much, they're just minimal moving to the 2 high school model.
I mean, first off, we got to look at the safety of the kids. I mean, number one, and that there's no way that can be safe having that many kids up there at Lafayette. The school's not that big. I mean, it's really not that big. And then Now and then we're going to talk about rivals trying to go to school and trying to integrate them together in that 1 or 2 year span for
Yeah.
like what if you had the other high, you got to wait until this high school's built, and then you got the other high school, whatever the other high school is going to be, and you got to start it like that. You can't have kids come to Benton to Central, and then what? They're going to go back from Central back to the South End. You know what I'm saying? That's come on, people, use your brains up there. I mean,
well, I need everyone's help in convincing no voters to consider a yes vote in the future and convince the school board to hold off on any immediate shutdown of any of the three high schools and see if we can't take another stab at this.
Well, yeah, they gotta have a plan, like an actual. What are the okay? I don't know. What are they gonna call? What can we call them? North St. Joe and South St. Joe, and have what the schools are going to be, the boundaries, have everything put down on paper, blueprint, whatever, and show the people that are voting. And I think you're going to get a lot more. I think it'll pass. I really do. But this threatening people like, oh yeah, if we don't vote yes, then because that'd be my son's senior year. He'd have to go to Central for a year. Like, it's just it just don't make sense.
It doesn't, and we've got the luxury of having the capacity. It's not the worst problem in the world. So I don't know. I would like to chat with some more people that actually voted no, if they want to engage in some sort of debate, and anyone else that's supporting the Central and Lafayette only in the interim, if they want to come on and talk with me or other folks in the South End, I'd love to facilitate any discussion on this. But I'm super concerned.
Think about this. What about the buses up at Lafayette? If you got that, what 600 more kids coming up there? Think about on Highland Avenue or Highland Avenue. It's not that wide, anyways. They already have. I picked up my nephews from school there, 10 years ago, and it was a mess. Now think about it now. It does not make any sense. It's like a strong arm deal, and it's got to be better than that. It's got to be better communication. But yeah, it's just it's tough, man. It's tough, especially when you got kids involved in it. But I don't think I don't think they're going to close Benton. I really don't. I hope not. So, I've already talked about moving, and I don't want to, but if
I think really people will probably move, and everyone's always threatening to move, and people do move.
Yeah.
Keep us around. But people will move if you get rid of the South End High School. People will move, and it's just I know people act like, well, you're just too prideful, but Benton High School has created Olympians. NFL players, NFL coaches,
Major League Baseball.
There's a lot of pride there. Like, I don't think people understand just how significant the Wesley weightlifting program is. Not just at St. Joe, but like
nationwide. Powerhouse.
Yeah, it's
Dennis Stephen was the national coach, for the USA Olympic weightlifting team. Come on, we're different. We're a different world down there.
Well, I hope this discussion continues, Charlie. You got anything else to say? I need help in the South End. I need someone else to step up and organize folks to figure out.
I'm going to do my part, and I know I've got a few friends I already talked to. They're going to do their part, and we're going to, I don't know, we'll come together with something. Maybe go to the next school board meeting and show them what kind of numbers we have. That
that's a good idea.
Are really for this, and we need someone to be the voice, which I nominate you.
No, that's not going to be me.
Well, I don't. Who else is there?
Well, we need other people to take this lead beyond just like you and I. But it's going to take a movement. I fear that they're actually going to shut this thing down because they think that whatever community planning was all that we needed.
Well, if they do shut down like this, okay, then they're just showing they really don't care about the kids' safety. Because there's no way Lafayette can support
Yeah, and can anyone look at the Carden Park experience with building such a massive elementary school in the middle of town? Are we better for having big ass schools? I mean, I'm for two high schools, but like, I don't know, whatever.
I don't know. I don't see. My kids always went to the Catholic school system. Uh, no, my son went to kindergarten, eighth grade, just to kind of get him used to public school. Since he was going to go to Benton. So I don't really. It's hard for me to give my opinion on public elementary, schools because I wasn't really part of it, So.
Yeah. Well, I mean, St. Joe's done good to build new schools. I'm not convinced sometimes that building these monstrosity of schools are the best idea. But I'm just concerned how horrific it might be if we're in a situation where Benton gets closed while we wait on a new school.
So
we can wait.
Today, I work in Kansas City, and they had before we started working there with TV on where we meet up at, and it was showing all the school bonds in Kansas City. I think every single one of them passed down there. With Park Hill, Liberty, all of them passed their bonds that they had. I haven't seen where like with Public High School and down Southwest Missouri, they're getting a brand new indoor facility, weight room, indoor practice field, and like I said, it's not just for the whole community is going to use it, and it's beneficial for the whole community, and we don't. And just look at our stuff, Okay, so
look at Heights 6. That's another thing that we have butchered as a city is our baseball fields. We need AstroTurf for baseball. Yeah. It's Missouri.
Well, I've heard that somebody. I'm not gonna throw names in there, but I heard someone had a heck of a deal on it, and the school district shut him down. They said no, we're not going to do that. It's just like we're getting the field turf at every high school football field. So what we're going to pump that money? So let's just waste it. So if they are going to close Benton down in a year, why are they even messing with the field turf?
Well, that's another point. Yes.
Yeah,
I don't. Why did we go invest in all this stuff and then turn right around and not use it as a high school? A lot of, like you said, I think this is a lack of overall leadership. But it's hard, man. The damage that was done 12 years ago, for some people though, that's not very long ago. And we're still dealing with this problem.
And the crowd that's probably I'd say probably the 60. Well, what do they have? 13,000 people voted. We got a town of 70,000. What kind of percentage is that?
Yeah, it's terrible. It was.
So it's like there's no sale. They don't sell anything. They don't.
I don't follow the politics or anything online. I haven't followed much of the debate at all. But it seems like we're in a really bad situation right now.
We are. And it doesn't look good. I mean, it's just and it's hurt. I know it's hurt with coaches, for applying for jobs here because there's so much uncertainty in what this has been going on for 10 years now.
We've got some really good coaches down at Benton right now. I don't know. Do they need to go apply for another job?
Yeah, and other ones that never apply for jobs that were open up here because they were worried about if they're going to have a job. I remember one guy, Ben Lidewell, could spend for a year, and he looked like he was going to do a pretty good job, and he didn't know if he was going to have a teaching job the next year, so they went back to where they're from, and down there, I think around the O show or something, but and he was a really good coach, but you talk to people about, hey, why don't you apply for a job or this job or that job? And they're like, how long is it going to be there? Because they were talking about, they talk. Let's just do it. Let's get it done. Good plan. Show the people what you're going to do. And then, I think the people might back you. It's going to show them, but you can't the bully stuff ain't going to work, especially down the South End. That was that lost you, even though I was fearful of it because of my son, going to be a senior year at a different school. The majority of people that didn't have kids that are in school, they were like, you're not going to push us over, so. There's got to be a high school in South End. Come on.
Yeah. Well, Charlie, I appreciate you coming in and chatting with me. It's more maybe it's therapeutic.
Yeah, I know.
But,
'Cause I know a lot of people are stressed about. I mean,
a lot of people should be, and I think if they really want to, don't let this sit on the back burner. I think they may need to make themselves heard that they want Benton to stay open.
Yeah.
I don't know if they'll have any luck. Whatever I can do to lend my voice or support to that cause,
yeah,
which is keep it open until we figure out the two high school solution. I want the help. So if
Yeah.
I can,
well, definitely, we'll definitely be recruiting it because, like I said, I know a lot of people. I mean, I was on my phone last night from I got home, I don't know, about 7:30 to probably about midnight. Even people, buddies from maybe Cannon that were texting me about, what do you think, and it's like, that Ben Buchanan, we got a lot of Benton guys that are down there, their kids are down there,
Yeah.
that would really help our schools,
maybe Mid Canyon School District needs to annex the South Side.
Hey, hey,
Uh,
I'm not,
whatever.
it is what it is.
Uh,
But they got some good coaches down there, some good, teachers, and that's another thing,
yeah, Mid Buchanan,
Can't
East
throw-
Buchanan. There's so many St. Joe folks that have moved that way.
Savannah,
Yeah, and it's hard.
Savannah's really,
It's hard to believe Savannah's bigger than Lafayette and Benton. I guess that's true.
yeah. I mean, they do got a big area to draw. They get county line all the way out to almost King City. They get like Empire Prairie and little towns like that out there. Then they go almost to Fillmore. So they do got a big area, but their enrollment has. I mean, I don't know what the numbers are, but yeah, you can tell just by their football teams and their band. I mean, they got a lot of kids up there. I don't know. Maybe, I'm thinking around 800 maybe at least. Well, they're 5A, and we're St. Joe's teams were. No, actually, they went 4A, and we were 3A in football district. So yeah, they're growing. East Buchanan, maybe Buchanan, they're growing, and we're losing kids. And we're a train. And if this kind of shit keeps up, we're gonna keep losing kids. When you lose kids, you lose money. So
yeah, it's a vicious cycle. The demographics of St. Joe have always been difficult. Blue collar town, manufacturing, construction, and retirement folks. It just is hard to work with that as your tax base sometimes, but it is what it is.
Yeah.
And Charlie, thanks for coming and chatting with
anytime,
me.
man.
And,
We go way back.
we better find out when that next board meeting is. And
I
get you
definitely will.
round up some other Southside rally.
Oh, I am. We are.
We're gonna have to talk off camera about
Yeah.
what else.
Yeah, I'm not gonna. I won't put any names out there because but trust me, we are gonna have a voice at this next meeting, and I'm not gonna be one of these radical people you see on TV act a fool.
Yeah.
But we're gonna show you that we are here and that we're not just gonna be pushed over, and we're not gonna put our kids in an unsafe situation, and the stupidity's got to stop. Let's get this together and make a good plan up and be productive. Be productive.
All right, Charlie. Thank you, Eddie Tuna Cat.
Dennis Steven.
All right. Well, until next time.
Yep.
All right.